Hello, teachers. Welcome to this demo, and I'll be showing you how to log in and enter the exam results, essentially the exam grades, into the Trillium Success Academy portal. So again, the portal is something that we've been, trying to roll out for quite some time now. We've had a few hiccups. I understand that, parents have had some difficulty accessing the portal, but we've made lots of progress, over the past couple months. So I'm very excited to, um, be granting teachers access now, and then that completes the whole cycle of adoption. So, um, again, to access the Trillium portal, just make sure you have the correct login. So again, it's https :// portal.trilliumsuccess.academy. I'll send a link directly to the WhatsApp group, so teachers would have a direct link and ability to log in. And your login information will be the same as your email. So your email address that you sent out. So for example, gift any would be giftany@yahoo.com or whatever. And so you'd enter your email in here. So in my case, this is my email, and then you enter your password. I will share the password with you guys directly as well. So you'd have your password sent. So once you put your username or email and password, you can then log in. So the first time you log in, you'll be greeted by this view. Right away, you would see your classes listed down here. So the classes that you're supposed to be responsible for. I have created a fake staff by the name Cynthia Adebola, and I'll be using this staff to do the demo. But in your case, once you log in, you'll be seeing the real data with your real information and everything. So now, at this point, I'd like to inform you that there are two types of result entry. There'll be one for the EYFS, that's the Early Years Foundation School, and then there'll be one for Basic 1 to 4. For this demo, I'll be doing the one for Basic 1 to 4. So if you're a teacher for Early Year Foundation, you should maybe log off now, because I'll be sending a second video to satisfy the EYFS result entry. And I think this is maybe relevant to Bell and Gift. I think both teachers are more for EYFS. The rest, Ozioma, Stephanie, Bridget, and Silva, I think this, basic 1 to 4 is more relevant for you guys. Okay. So to get started, the first thing you do again is to make sure that the list of classes here are relevant to you guys. And I'll go through the listing. So for example, P04 is primary 4 or basic 4. And in this case, I've assigned basic 4 to Cynthia Debola, but in reality, basic 4 is assigned to Silva, right? She's the teacher for basic 4. The class listings, so P04 is primary 4 agricultural science. That's the short code for the class. And then the form group P04, right? So the only thing you should care about is the 04P, which is primary 4, and then the middle, which is the name of the course. So Agric, Arts, CRK, Christian Religious Knowledge, English, French, History, Home Economics, Health and Physical Education, that's HPE, ICT, Information, Computer, Science and Technology, which is like coding, I think, Mathematics, Music, Science and Technology, and Social Studies. So I believe there are 13 classes or 13 subjects that the kids are taking currently. So your classes should be listed here. And so your job essentially is to enter results for them. You go to assess up here and then go to formal assessments. Now, you'll see a list of all the students that we have in the school. You can ignore this for now. Your job is to only enter results. So you go to write internal assessment. So click this. You would see again teachers that are listed here, for instance. So like I said, I created a fake teacher, but once you log in Mrs. Silva, you would see that your name would be the only thing that shows up here as a teacher that's responsible for this primary 4 or basic 4 class. You would also see a list of all the students that are currently enrolled in basic 4. As you can see, I've imputed the scores for first term and second term, so term 1 and term 2. You don't really have to do anything about those ones. They've been put in. I guess for this student, Gadilites, we do not have her first term results. So perhaps if you have them, you can enter them here. But the focus would be for term 3. So again, you click down here again to go back, assess, formal assessment, write internal assessments, and then you select the first class, agricultural science. You click, come up here under term 3 score or term score 3 and enter data. So in my case, again, I created a fake student called Chinedu Adebola. That's not a real student. I'm just going to use him for this demo. In Chinedu's case, I gave him a 95%. So you put in the children's actual scores. So for example, winner scores, you put the actual score in here, and then you're encouraged to type a comment. So this is what they attained. The effort level, some schools use it. In our case, you can leave this blank for now, only do the attainment, right? So click what they actually achieved or attained in the final semester. And this would be essentially cumulative of everything they've done, right? Including all the continuous assessments and exams. I just want the final score out of 100. And then write comments. Chinedu is not a real student, but maybe you can say, if for a real student, you'd be like, Chinedu has excelled quite a bit in agric. He is a bright boy and shows lots of promise. As you can see, it lets you know that there's a few typos in here. Chinedu is not an English word, so I guess it's okay because there's no correction for this one. But you can see excelled was misspelled. It's very important to make sure that we are sending results with the correct grammar and correct spelling. So I've entered this for Chinedu. I'll do the same for all the kids for agric. No need to touch the go live date, just press submit. So when you go back, again, you can click go here to go back to the main screen. You would see that we have entered 95%, and then the comments show up here. Chinedu is not a real student. He has excelled quite a bit in agric. He's a bright boy, shows lots of promise. You repeat the same thing again for, all the kids that are enrolled in agric for primary 4 in this case. Once you're done, you move on to the next subject, arts, enter. You would see again, term 3 score, term 2 scores, term 1 score. Enter data, put the grade. So let's say Chinedu didn't do super well in art. We will say 57 for attained. Chinedu is not a real student. Chinedu did not perform at his best in art. And it's nice to also leave some comments about how he can improve on arts. So for example, I encourage him to read more about art history. And then once you do that for each student, you submit, and then you can go back home to check what you've entered, and then move on to the next subject, Christian religious knowledge. You'd have to do this for each of the 13 subjects for all your students. I know it's pretty time consuming, but it's important that we get this done properly. And this is how results are entered in most schools that use technology. So it's something that we would like to adopt. So I encourage you to go through each of the 13 classes and enter a term score and just make sure all the data is there. You can also retroactively go, and if you see something that's missing, for instance, term 1 score, the attainment section is missing for the student Gadelight, so it would be nice to put a score in there for them, depending on what they achieved. Okay. Now, that's the first part of the formal assessment. Now, to complete your assessment, you have to go to the report section. Again, you can go back home, assess, report, and then you will see my reporting. Because the reporting cycle is for third term, you would see third term report. So third term reporting cycle starts from April to July 31st, which is the third semester or third term for our school. Proofread. If you have anything that's pending, you get to proofread it. But in our case, we want to write a new report. So write report. You select the year, auto selected in this case, reporting cycle, third term, scope. Again, you choose the scope that's relevant to you. So for example, Cynthia Debola is a Basic 4 teacher. So I'll choose Basic 4. And then you'd see, again, all the classes or all the students rather, that are registered under Basic 4. If you were to select, for example, Basic 3, you would see that you get this error. This report is read-only. You do not have access to make changes because you're viewing the wrong, or you're trying to modify the wrong form group or class. You choose your correct one, which is Basic 4, and then select one student, for instance. And this is the learning skills and strengths and next steps for improvement. So here you read through all of this, responsibility, fulfills responsibilities and commitments within the learning environment, and then grade them. So is it needs improvement, satisfactory, good, excellent? So for example, for Chinedu as a fake student, I gave him excellent for everything. Maybe I can give him satisfactory for this one and needs improvement for independent work. And then again, comments are important. This is how we communicate the child's progress to parents. So as much comments as possible. I will leave this as Chinedu is not a real student, but he is a great boy. And then once you're done, you complete, save, and next, and it pulls up the next person in the list, which is winner Nathaniel Onyekachi. You do the same thing for him, and again, I'll leave this for the teacher to actually get done, but I've done my fake student, and so you can see now the system sees it as complete. Now, the reason we do all this is because for the fake student that we've entered the information for, we could view the child's report, and I can show you what that looks like shortly. The good thing about this portal is that it's able to auto-generate reports. So the reports would go directly to the parent's email address. They're also able to log in and view the reports. So it saves plenty of time. So we enter it once and deploy. Okay. So here's an example now of the new reports that we will issue out. Again, system generated. Again, for the fake student, it'll show third term report card, the school's name, the date we issue it. Again, this is for 18th of July when the school closes and you guys finish the reporting cycle. It'll show the child's name, the basic four. It'll show some information about them and the teacher's name. So again, this accurately shows Silva um, as the teacher for basic four. It'll show the child's student ID. So again, all of this stuff that you guys used to enter manually, it's saving you plenty of time. The learning skills and work habits, you would see now that what I entered now shows in the report card automatically. So responsibility, excellent, organization, excellent, needs improvement for independent work. And then the comments I put in, Chinedu is not a real student, but he's a great boy. It's all in there. And the third term report card, right, which will show his first term score, second term score, and third term score, right? So again, the three that I entered, 95, 57, 82. I did not complete the rest, so the report card shows nothing for now, but hopefully you will complete each 13 subject for every student, so it reflects correctly in the report card. So we have all three terms. And then down here, there's now a big breakdown of the reports for third term. Again, going up, this is a summary for all three terms, which will show the child's average over the three terms. And then down here gives a third term breakdown, right? So what they scored individually for third term. So the attainment, and then the comments that you put in there. So if you remember, the aggregate comment that I put was Chinedu isn't a real student, but has excelled quite a bit in agric. He's a bright boy and shows lots of promise. So your comments will reflect here. But that's just to show you an example of what the report that goes out to the parents looks like. It's well formatted. It looks great and fantastic. If we can get the parents to upload their child's picture, it'll show up in here, the child's photo. But that's, we can cross that bridge when we get more adoption. And then there is now a rubric that will show what the responsibility organization, what that means. Again, the stuff that you guys get to see, the parents get like at least some explanation of what these things mean. And then the short code as well. The parents get a sense of what some of these acronyms mean. And that's what the report looks like. I hope this makes sense. I will be uploading this video to YouTube. Take your time, watch it, and feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions whatsoever. I'm willing and able to help and assist you guys. Good luck.